Queen Marchesa versus Bruna, Light of Alabaster. Well, it's an Inquisition of Kozilek on turn 1, I think, and then a Sol Ring from there, so we'll keep that. Yeah, if we had 2 white sources, I'd probably go for Elspeth, Knight Errant, and get that down on turn 2 with the Sol Ring, but seeing as how we don't, we'll go for the Inquisition onto our opponent. They've kept a 6-card hand. Well, they do have access to blue. That's a pretty terrible hand they've kept, so I say we give them Mana Crypt. We'll just get rid of the Swan Song there. Don't want them to go scooping on us too early. But yeah, I think that's a 1-lander they've kept there. Yep, so there is their Azorius land. They opt not to go for Mana Crypt, which is pretty risky if they think we might be running lots of discard effects. We'll just get down our Sol Ring, and this will be a tapped Clifftop Retreat. We'll have to leave it there. Queen Marchesa is a 4-mana Mardu commander, a 3/3 with Death Touch and Haste. When it enters the battlefield, we become the Monarch, and at the beginning of our upkeep, if an opponent is the Monarch, then we get a 1/1 Black Assassin with Death Touch and Haste. Alright, Vindicate. Well, the thing to do with that is to get rid of the Azorius land, but we're not going to do that. So we'll just get rid of this creature that our opponent has, the Bounty Agent, because that can destroy legendary permanents, including creatures. So that will make it difficult for us to keep our commander around, and also it gives us something to do with the cards we have in hand. Bruna, Light of Alabaster, our opponent's been really lucky, drawing into lands off the top, by the way. That is a 5/5 flyer with Vigilance, 6 mana in Azorius. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you can attach to it any number of auras on the battlefield, and you may put onto the battlefield, attached to it, any number of auras that could enchant it from graveyard or hand. So basically, Bruna will just flood the board with a bunch of auras and equip herself with those. There's an Academy Researchers, and the Spectra Ward comes down for that. That is +2/+2, pro all colours, except that doesn't remove auras. Yeah, they can swing through with anything there, pretty much, can't they? But we can swing back, potentially, so I say we just get down the Monarchy here. They can take it from us next turn, but there's nothing we can do about this, because it does have protection from all colours. And we'll draw an extra card from the Monarch. That is at the beginning of the end step, we draw a card, but whenever a creature deals combat damage to us, its controller becomes the Monarch, so this is going to bounce back and forth a few times, I think. But we've gotten into double black at least, so we can go for Necropotence next turn. Nothing we can do about that. It has protection from all colours, so we can't block it. And we know of 2 of the cards in their hand. They have a Mana Crypt and a Holy Mantle. +2/+2 and protection from creatures. We get an Assassin token here. Okay, an O-Ring on the Spectra Ward is good, I think. So let's go Oblivion Ring onto that. We know of 2 of the cards in their hand, but one of the cards could be Counter Magic. Luckily, they didn't go for the Oblivion Ring on that. And then we'll swing in with both of these just in case they got into a flash creature. I doubt an Enchantress build wants to play flash creatures, but you never know. Good to play around these things. And then we can generate 3 black mana, thanks to the Graven Cairns, is it called? Yes, the Graven Cairns. I'm not the best with remembering the names of lands. Now we will still draw a card from the Monarchy. So why don't we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, put 3 into Necropotence. Yeah, we'll just go for 3. Necropotence exiles the top card of our library face down, and then we get it into our hand at the beginning of the next end step. But it does mean that we don't draw cards at the beginning of the draw step. Alright, we've got an Enlightened Tutor, a land to play next turn is good, and a board wipe is always good to keep hold of. They can swing in here and take the Monarchy off us, but we're not going to struggle taking it back. Our opponent has gotten a Smothering Tithe down. Nowhere near as good in 1 versus 1 as it is in multiplayer, but it's still a really good card. And again, we get an Assassin token. I'll leave one back this time. We'll just go in for a land and then swing in at our opponent. And this time we are going to keep the Monarchy token unless our opponent removes that Assassin that's going to block. And in fact, what I think we should do here is go for the Obnixilis. Obnixilis can blow up this creature, and then we don't have to worry about it getting enchanted with protection from creatures, which it could do with Holy Mantle. And then it's Enlightened Shooter. And I'm not actually sure what we're getting with Enlightened Shooter, but we'll draw into it at the end of the turn anyway. Okay, yeah, we'll get ourselves a Skull Clamp because that's good with these tokens. And then it's just a couple of cards with Necropotence because we'll draw one with the Monarchy. And because we drew a card with the Monarchy, Smothering Tithe will trigger. That will give our opponent a treasure token. We're not going to put 2 into it. A Rest in Peace might be worth playing because Bruna will bring back auras from the graveyard. Looks like they might be going for Bruna right now. We are very removal heavy in this deck, so it's not likely that they're going to be able to stick a Bruna for very long. There is a Cartouche of Solidarity. When it enters, you get a 1/1 white warrior with Vigilance, and it gets +1/+1 and first strike. The enchanted creature gets that +1/+1 and first strike. We'll draw off the Obnixilis. And they can have a Smothering Tithe trigger. Well, the Dismember's a good draw. Unfortunately, we can't kill Bruna with that. So we'll just have to resort to the Council's Judgment. That will go after Bruna. And just a heads up, in a 1 versus 1 scenario, you need to look at what your opponent has voted for. And then you vote for the same thing. You are allowed to vote for the same thing as your opponent. Alright, and then we go in for... There's actually nothing else we can do because we're struggling on white mana, so let's just get some Skull Clamp triggers going. We should actually just swing in first, I think. Our opponent chooses not to block. They might foresee us killing the Assassins with Skull Clamp. See what we draw into. Hoping for a land here, really. Alright, well there's a couple of lands. They can have some more mana with the Smothering Tithe. And then we'll go Ancient Tomb into another Skull Clamp. And there is nothing else that I want to cast there, so I'll pay for one of these Tithe triggers. And then the other one is not going to be paid for. They can swing in at us with the Warrior token if they want to. We draw another card with the Monarch, so that Smothering Tithe is proving to be very good this game. We'll just ditch the Intangible Virtue. That gets exiled to Necropotence. And then Painful Truths and Smothering Marsh can go as well, I think. And now I'm holding up the Dismember because they might go to enchant the Warrior token. Although I think we're going to see Bruna again this turn. Heliod's Pilgrim allows you to search your library for an aura. We'll see what they go for with that. Got on into an Eldrazi Conscription. Enchanted creature gets +10/+10, Trample and Annihilator 2. That's 8 mana, and they might be able to afford that actually. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 away. I don't know if they've made a land this turn, but we definitely want to remove the creature before it gets enchanted with this. Okay, there's a Holy Mantle onto that. I think we just go... Yeah, we'll go in for Dismember in response to that. And you never know, this might get counter magic out of our opponent's hand. And this is a nice little 2-for-1. The problem with auras is that you really want to be enchanting things with hexproof. because it's easy to 2-for-1 your opponent. Alright, we can go in for another card draw with Obnixilis. And need to make sure to hold up the Devil in response to the Eldrazi Conscription. We really don't want our opponent swinging in with that. Another white source is really good. Let's go for white and black with that. I think that's scrubland. And then we'll get down our Elspeth. We'll make a token. And then swing in at our opponent. I don't know if we're going to clamp that token or not. We're running low on life, so we might have to rely on the Elspeth Skull Clamp combination. Opting not to block, I dare say they want to get the Eldrazi Conscription onto that creature. Let's go in for Rest in Peace. And then with the floating mana we can go for Skull Clamp. And this will draw us a couple of cards. We've still got the Monarchy. Oh no, that's a Numbo, isn't it? I've done that before. Once before, a long time ago, and I completely forgot about that. Yeah, Skull Clamp won't see that the creature dies because it gets exiled instead. That's a replacement effect, so... yeah, spent a mana. And lost a creature for nothing there. We'll still draw off the Monarchy at least. Okay, go for the Throat is good. We're not going to pay for Tithe. Just holding up Bedevil and go for the Throat here. Because I dare say we might see an Eldrazi Conscription this turn. Well, there's an Austere command. Okay, Spectra Ward will come down when that blows up Oblivion Ring. That will get rid of Rest in Peace, Necropotence. That will actually allow us to draw a card next turn during the draw step. I say we go for Bedevil now, so that the Spectra Ward won't end up coming in and enchanting this thing and giving it protection from colours. And then that kills off enchantments and our Queen Marchesa, which we don't really mind when she dies because we can replay her if our opponent takes the Monarchy away from us. Does get rid of the Rest in Peace as well, which will switch Skull Clamp back on. Alright, that's worth noting that they have a vehicle in play now. And we won't be able to kill that with the Go for the Throat. We'll just draw a card with Obnixilis here. Okay, a path is good to get into. We'll go for Urborg so that we can tap Ancient Tomb for a black instead of putting life into it. And then we'll kill off the Soldier with the Clamp. That will draw us 2 cards. Okay, we've got a Despark as well. Let's get down our Commander. And then we can hold up Cycling on the Canyon, Path to Exile, and Go for the Throat on our opponent's turn, so I don't mind swinging in here. And 2 more hits directly from Queen Marchesa, and our opponent is done for. They'll be at 21 commander damage before they get to 0 life total. And this looks like Bruna mana to me. And they can crew up the Cultivator's Caravan, which will turn it into a creature, and that means that it is able to be pathed. So we've got 2 creatures we can blow up here, which is really good. We'll go for Path onto the Caravan. And then it's 2 mana, Go for the Throat, and we'll get rid of that Bruna again. And I doubt they're going to be recasting Bruna this game now. Alright, Diabolic Edict is another good thing to play against Bruna. We'll draw another card. We need to be really careful with our life total now. Draw another couple of cards with the Elspeth and Skull Clamp combination. Oh, and actually we could have plussed up, yeah, we could have won this turn. Had I have used Elspeth's middle ability, +3/+3 and flying, we could have gotten 6 commander damage in there, so apologies for that. Clamp onto Queen Marchesa, largely pointless, but we might want to kill her off. Thoughtseize our opponent to look at their hand. We'll just get rid of the conscription there. And then we are swinging in. Yeah, could have won this turn. Just got tunnel vision with the skull clamp and soldier token thing. Let's cycle that and draw another card. Okay, Jitte is going to be irrelevant, I think. We've got D-Spark and, yeah, with a land drop we can hold up D-Spark and Edict. We'll just get down the Jitte and pass the turn over. Draw into a Vampiric Tutor. We'll lose 2 life from that, and that'll knock us down to 2. Well, there's a Fact or Fiction. They only have 3 mana held up, so they're really wanting a removal spell here. Yeah, I mean, you can just have everything. I don't think it really matters. Obvious which pile they choose. They go for SRAM to get a blocker into play. But we can just go for Diabolic Edict on them and force them to sacrifice a creature. And we get through for lethal next turn. And apologies to my opponent, I didn't realise that they were a friend of the channel. I hadn't pulled up the chat until the end of the game. But Zephyr Ubel, make yourself known in the comments section and we'll be sure to have a discussion with you if you like about the deck and how the game went for you and everything. Yeah, always fun to encounter people online and they can show us their decks and stuff like that. There's Bribery in here, or Rift was really good. I don't know what order they drew these in actually. We knew about most of these cards because they took it from the Fact or Fiction. But there's a land, yeah, Rift would have been good for them. I don't know how good Bribery would be against us actually, we don't have that many creatures, very removal heavy. Okay, apologies there, the game just quit out on me as I was about to respond to you. But like I said, make yourself be known in the comments section and I'd like to get a good community around the channel started, so if you could be a part of that, that would be really good. Hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. That was Queen Marchesa versus Bruna. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.